Hello, this is Karen, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the June 28th issue of the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. First on the front page, 70-year-old Newark man beaten severely by neighbor. Prior harassing and racial slurs led up to the beating. It all began on Monday, June 1st at approximately 5:45 p.m. when the Village of Newark police responded to the 300 block of Segrest Street for the report of harassment. Officers spoke to the victim, who stated that he was involved in a verbal altercation with a male. At that time, the man told the victim, Johnny White, age 70, residing on Segrest Street, that he was going to kick his ass while using racial slurs. This was documented on a police report, and the suspect remained unknown. On Tuesday, June 23rd, at approximately 4:48 p.m., the Village of Newark police again responded to the 300 block of Segrest Street for a report of a disturbance. Johnny White was beaten and may have been attacked with a 2x4. Upon arrival, officers observed White with significant facial injuries staggering about. The investigation revealed that White and Brandon M. Watt, of age 39, of Segrest Street, are known to each other as they reside in the same neighborhood. Watt allegedly struck the victim from behind as White was retreating to the side yard of his residence. Watt then struck the victim several more times with a closed fist, causing significant swelling to his face, fractured eye orbital, fractured nose, and a fractured lower jaw. The 2x4 was collected as evidence, as it had splatters of blood on it. After the victim was no longer sedated and interviewed on Wednesday, Newark police discovered that Watt was the same suspect from the harassment that occurred on June 1st. After consultation with the Wayne County District Attorney's Office, Watt was charged on Thursday, June 25th. Times News partner, News 10 NBC's reporter Aaron Mahan spoke with the victim's family. The assault left Johnny White with a broken nose, broken eye socket, and stitches over his ears. Quote, I saw him laying in that bed, and it just didn't look real, to be honest, said Giovanna White Principio, White's daughter. Mahan spoke with two of White's daughters. They stayed with White overnight, taking turns to check on him in the emergency department. They mentioned over a dozen family members and friends that stopped by to the hospital since it admitted White. They said Watt had been harassing their father for weeks. My father's 70 years old. He did not deserve this. He will give you the shirt off his back. He goes to work every day. He loves his animals. He loves his wife. They've been married more than 20 years. He's lived in Newark for 18 years, and nothing like this has ever happened to my father, said Jewel Perkins, White's daughter. So far, police have also spoken with two witnesses, seen video evidence of the assault, and spoken with Watt as part of their investigation. Watt was taken to the Wayne County Jail for cap court arrangement and remanded to jail. Records show Watt was also arrested in 2025 by Newark Village Police. Watt was charged with harassment in the second-degree physical contact. It is alleged Watt tailgated a female victim for several miles, passed her, stopped the vehicle in the middle of the road, got out and struck the woman in the face, causing pain and redness. In that road rage case, Watt pled guilty on November 5, 2025, with a 1-year conditional discharge. On Thursday, White remained hospitalized in stable condition at Strong Memorial Hospital. Newark Chief Austin Gonzalez stated, the Village of Newark Police Department was assisted immensely by the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Milby and the entire Wayne County Sheriff's Office have been an excellent partner agency. Next from the front page, retired Newark police officer charged with DWI following vehicle rollover. His wife, A 911 dispatcher was ejected from the vehicle and remains in serious condition. State troopers out of Lyons responded to a vehicle rollover accident on Route 31 by Clyde Road in the town of Lyons on Monday, June 22nd at 8:23 p.m. The driver of the Jeep, Aaron B. Dean, age 60, of Gannett Road in Lyons, was found to be intoxicated. He was subsequently charged with DWI, move from lane unsafely, failure to keep right, unsafe passing and speed not reasonable, or prudent for conditions. Dean retired from the Newark Village Police Department in August of 2023 after 39 and a half years. Dean's wife, Katie, a Wayne County 911 operations manager, was ejected from the vehicle and suffered serious external and internal injuries. Fire police shut down Route 31 in both directions and called for a helicopter landing zone, but air medical flights were declined due to weather conditions. She was transported to Strong Memorial Hospital in critical condition. She is currently in an induced coma. Aaron Dean admitted at the scene that he had a few drinks while they attended a local golf tournament. Blood was drawn to determine his blood alcohol level. He was not seriously injured and will appear in Town of Lyons Court on July 21st. Next on the front page, who won the primary elections locally and overall? Democrats and Republicans make their choices for November. Results are in for the primary races held in Wayne County and statewide. The competition for the party line for Democrats in the race for the 130th Assembly District was extremely close. In overall state results, Carl Fitzsimmons of Webster, who grew up in Sodus, won over Williamson's Joe LaManna by just 49 votes. Wayne County put LaManna ahead handily, 1,017 to 894, but outside the county voters, mainly Webster, put Fitzsimmons over. For the Republicans, the candidate for the November for the 130th will be George Dobbins of Lyons. Dobbins led in Wayne County over Summer Johnson of Marion and Webster's Mark Johns. Statewide and overall winner was also Dobbins. New York State Assembly 130th District November ballot, Republican George Dobbins, Democrat Carl Fitzsimmons. In the state representative in Congress race, facing incumbent Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, the contest for the Democrat line was between Alyssa Elman of Lockport and Diane Kastenbaum of Batavia. In Wayne County, Elman received more votes than Kastenbaum, and overall the winner statewide was also Elman. Representative in Congress 24th District, November ballot, Republican Claudia Tenney, incumbent, and Democrat Alyssa Elman. New York State incumbent Senator Pam Helming will be on the Republican line in November. The choice for a Democrat was between Canandaigua's Michael Mills and Palmyra's Scott Comegis. Locally, Comegis was the big winner, but the final primary numbers went to Mills. For New York State Senate 54th District, November ballot, Republican Pam Helming, incumbent Democrat Michael Mills. The state comptroller's primary pitted Democrats Thomas DiNapoli against Drew Warshaw and Raj Goyal. Wayne County voted for DiNapoli with Warshaw and Goyal. DiNapoli was also the state overall winner by taking 65% of the votes. There were no primaries for the Republicans. Joseph Hernandez is on the Republican line for November. So the New York State Comptroller, November ballot, Republican Joseph Hernandez, Democrat Thomas DiNapoli, incumbent. There were several Wayne County-only primaries on Tuesday as well. Voters put Michael Kolzinski on the Republican line for Town of Savannah Supervisor, winning over former Supervisor Frank Paddock. Savannah also ran a primary for the Superintendent of Highways for the Republican line, with incumbent Jeff Little placing ahead of Brandon Baker for the spot. Of the 13,552 Democrats eligible to vote in the primary and 24,767 Republicans eligible to vote in the primary, only 1,558 Democrats and 3,221 Republicans voted. Early voters accounting for only about 600 total votes. And last on the front page, Wayne County warns of phishing scam. The Wayne County Planning Department is warning town and village officials in Wayne County about phishing emails that impersonate county planning board members and staff seeking fraudulent payments. The emails are requesting application review and approval fees that may appear to be legitimate, with documentation referring to existing proposals and using names of officials, board members, and relevant local law citation. These fraudulent messages may also include official-looking logos and templates to mislead recipients. Anyone with questions about fees or payments should contact the Wayne County Planning Department at 315-946-5933. Next, from the editorial page, In This Corner by Devin Holdraker, co-editor, Full Adult. So this is 42. I turned 42 last week, and while I know most of our readers skew older, 42 is one of those numbers I used to throw around when talking about, actual adults. A 40-something-year-old sounded like a wise old veteran of life, someone who had seen and experienced a million things I couldn't even fathom at the time. However, I am 42 now, and I'm just some guy who is still trying to figure things out. I feel like maybe I was misled, and I guess I'm looking for someone to blame. Were the adults around me just really good at hiding the fact that they too were still figuring things out? Oh no, what if they are still pretending now? While I still feel young mentally, my body is indeed aging at a personally alarming rate. Hair is disappearing from the top of my head and now popping out in unexpected places. The act of standing up now comes with noises I neither plan on nor appreciate. I fall asleep at 9 p.m. and wake up at 4 a.m. I guess that all does sound kind of adulty. Come to think of it, I also get mad at loud noises and find new technology confusing. Check and check. Oh no, am I the adult in this house? Can't be. I still eat kids' cereal and drink juice boxes. There must be someone else in charge. Ah, yes, my wife. Surely she is the grown-up here. She is certainly wiser and more mature, being 2 months my senior. Phew, that makes me the cool, hip dad who is definitely not an embarrassment to my teenager. It's not like I constantly hound him to clean his room and do his homework like my dad did. Okay, I guess I do that. At least I still understand the lingo and can communicate in his own language. Wait, no. He's saying now I definitely misuse all of it, and it's super embarrassing that I think I'm still cool. It's fine. I'm fine. Okay then, if I'm supposedly an adult, where is all the money? I thought adults had money. I'm checking my account now, and nope, still looks like a very immature person is running things there. And why are they buying so many pairs of sneakers? At 18, I thought I'd retire by 30. At 30, I figured 55 would do it. At 42, my math says I'll have to work until at least, wait, this can't be right. The calculator says 124. I remember people telling me it's no fun getting old. As a kid, you think they're exaggerating, but as a newly self-realized adult, I can confirm that none of this is fun. Getting old sucks. Watching your parents get old sucks. Looking at your peers and thinking, wow, they're getting old, and then realizing they're probably thinking the same thing about you sucks. There's very little benefit to being an adult at all. It's just work, stress, and debt. As a kid, you think, oh, I'll be able to stay up late and do anything I want. only to realize you won't stay up late and the real goal is to do very little, if anything, at all. I do enjoy working, but it's only enjoyable as I know there will eventually, hopefully, be a finish line. A life you can look back on and feel accomplished while sitting on a beach or watching your own children grow up and pretend to be adults too. That said, I suppose it's my job now to act like I have things figured out. Imagine if my kids knew I was just faking it this whole time. Yikes. Maybe that's why my parents always seemed like they were adults. It was all an elaborate ruse meant to lull me into becoming a grown-up. Maybe it's like a pyramid scheme and you can only retire when you recruit someone else to adulthood first. That must be it. Okay, so if I sign up my son today, is there some sort of form I'll need to fill out, or is it like jury duty and they'll just know when it's his turn? Will I just have to keep pretending forever, or do you at some point finally know you've got it all figured out? If there are any actual adults out there that could let me know, I'd really appreciate it. Until then, I guess I'll keep faking it. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Also on the editorial page is the Thumbs Up column. Continuing the late-night jabs at the Trump administration, NBC's Tonight Show blasted the kickoff to Trump's personal Great American State Fair. As President Donald Trump kicked off the 16-day Great American State Fair on the National Mall on Wednesday, June 24th, Jimmy Fallon spent part of the Tonight Show mocking the event. In his opening monologue, Fallon noted that the event was originally supposed to begin with the Freedom 250 concert, featuring performances from the likes of Vanilla Ice, Milli Vanilli, and Bret Michaels. However, Trump later canceled the concert after several acts pulled out of the event due to public backlash. It's the first event where BYOB means bring your own band, Fallon quipped on Wednesday's show. Tonight included a military flyover, Lee Greenwood singing God Bless the USA, and a speech by Trump. Even Trump's biggest fans were like, is this a repeat? Last month, Trump took to Truth Social after several artists dropped out of the concert and said that he'd step in to replace them. Fallon then turned his attention to the fair itself, saying, Yep, the rally kicked off the 16-day Great American State Fair on the National Mall. There's funnel cake, there's corn dogs, turkey legs, and lots of other foods found during Trump's colonoscopy. And now from the People page, we have the Times of Wayne County one-on-one. Interview by Patty Holdraker of Corey Comer, the Soulful Showman. Professional performer, singer, songwriter, recording artist, DJ, Newark resident. I was born and grew up in Florida, but have spent most of my life in Newark. My parents, Frank and Janice Comer, moved here to Wayne County in 1971 after my aunt found her way here. After about a year staying with my grandmother, I joined the family in Newark. I am one of 4 boys with 2 older brothers, Jody and Bernard, and 1 younger brother, Jason. My dad wanted us brought up to a higher ground. The South was tough. From pre-K until 5th grade, I attended St. Michael's School in Newark. Dad wanted me to have a spiritual upbringing. And then I spent middle school and high school at Newark. I graduated in 1990. Mom was a nurse at Kelly School, first African-American nurse in Newark. From an early age, I was surrounded by music. My dad was a guitarist and a singer in a quartet. I was with him a lot. The music book fell hard on my head. I drummed in church and sang in the choir. Gospel was my background sound and my inspiration, while I later found rock, soul, funk, jazz, Motown, and some fine blues like B.B. King. I am not pigeonholed by one style or another. I read a crowd and play to the vibe. During high school and well after, I was a DJ going by Casanova Sound. Many people in the area know me from weddings and special events. I was a DJ for 30 plus years. My dad encouraged me early to make music, play the guitar and other instruments. He had a hard choice early on to pursue music or feed his family. He chose family. I started playing guitar on a broomstick and mimicked his moves, then graduated to a rhythm guitar. I have many ministers and preachers in my family, including my dad. My mom is a missionary. Dad played guitar in the classic style. I play using the same chord patterns, but by ear, finding my way, with guitar and sometimes percussion. In high school, I played football and was on the wrestling team. Band was also part of my life. I would involve myself in music shows. After graduation, I was in that "what do I do now" fog. I held many jobs after high school besides my music. I worked at restaurants, hospitals, I married and had kids in my 30s, and we produced Sophia, who is now 21, Miles, who is 19. Until 2.5 years ago, I was a probation officer for Wayne County. I had always leaned towards a career in law enforcement. I wanted to be in a job where I could use my skills as a caseworker and social worker. I was more interested in the helping spirit than the guns and badges part. It was during that time that I strongly felt my calling to musical performance. I went by the Soulful Showman, and I composed my own songs and played gigs with the soulful music of others as well, all over town. My performance schedule now also includes North Carolina and Florida. I was influenced early on by Christian gospel music. Then came AM/FM radio, where I heard B.B. King and 60s, 70s music, Aretha Franklin. Then I saw and heard Elvis. Wow, I tried to imitate his hip action and his style. But God is my manager. He leads me. Musically, I have been influenced by Stevie Wonder. He is such a prolific, wonderful writer and showman. He has an ear for music. I have also been very influenced by Chris Stapleton. His music is from his heart, from his own story. He is a great storyteller. Personal influences have been several of my teachers at Newark. Mrs. George Zappia, my fifth-grade teacher, was like my mom when my mom wasn't there. Jack Fisher, my wrestling coach and PE teacher, just kept an eye out for me like a dad. He once heard I was bullying someone on the bus in 6th grade. It happened to be his son. He really called me out on it. Later, he asked me to join his wrestling team. God led me there too, and to music. How I prep my vocal cords to prepare for a 3-hour set? I bring a lot of water and keep organic honey by my side always. I play acoustic and electric and have been working a bit lately with Kenny Hawkins from Rick James Band. We are working harmonies and a sound. Although I found my talent in music early on, it took me time to realize I had a voice. I did not recognize this until later in my career. My music and my crying emotional voice are a result of pain and loss. At a point in my life, I lost everything. Sometimes loss can make you strong if you have faith. Mostly my pain came from separation from my marriage. My wife left me and our children when they were 3 and 4 years old. We had 23 years together and she saw another life for herself. I have raised my kids alone to be the wonderful souls they are now. I do have hobbies for my time off and to unwind. I weave with a loom and make scarves. I sew and do some carpentry, built my garage, and some plumbing and electrical. I have a he shed and I bake and barbecue. My dad had an orange barbecue food truck, Road Dog, that lots of people in the area would know. I am also a songwriter, and my recording of Soul of a Man was released a year ago. It is available on most streaming sites. I have all original songs on it. Look for Corey Comer, the Soulful Showman. The music industry can be cold. Many are used by others if their calling is not strong. They are led away from their souls. Nashville and unscrupulous managers can use you up and spit you out. Some friends have encouraged me to try something like American Idol, but that is not for me. Those shows are for people to prove they can sing. I know I can sing. You have to prepare your mind to perform. Be yourself, know who you are, and be you before becoming part of a group, if that is where you are headed. Everything I do is encompassed in a spiritual foundation. I don't curse. My dad always told me to be myself and warned me, don't warm your hands at the enemy's campfire. Miles, my son, wants to be an NFL football coach someday. He wants to work now with the Newark Reds at the high school. He is at FLCC currently. Sophia is a good kid. Both my kids are. She is a bit stubborn but very smart. She is currently working at a Walmart and saving money. She has not had her calling yet. Privately, I hope she pursues nursing like her grandma. She does have a great voice also, but she is shy. The photo caption with this article is, "See the Soulful Showman on social media for his upcoming schedule." Next in People News, Fairville Volunteer Fire Department's 70th anniversary honoring charter member. State Senator Pam Helming attended the Fairville Volunteer Fire Department's 70th anniversary banquet, presenting a proclamation to mark the department's milestone and to honor the man who was there at its very beginning. Gene Waymer was one of 68 charter members when the department was founded in the spring of 1956. At 92 years old, he is the last of those originals still standing. It began on February 22, 1956, when 39 men gathered in the hamlet of Fairville, 5 miles outside the town of Arcadia in Wayne County, and voted to form a volunteer fire department. They had no station, no modern equipment, and no budget to speak of. What they had was a donated 1922 American LaFrance pumper truck, which members repaired themselves, installing a 400-gallon tank and a windshield to make it operable. They converted a run-down schoolhouse into a firehouse, rebuilt it by hand, and in the spring of 1956, the department was chartered. By July, a 12-foot addition was complete. Gene Waymer says, "I thought, why not join and help get it started? The guy who owned the general store worked to get everything going. It was a lot of work rebuilding that schoolhouse, but everybody got involved." Their first call came in March of 1958. Waymer remembers, "I was out on the farm when the call came in. Not many guys could respond during the day because we were all working. At night, everybody turned out. Most were grass and barn fires. I felt like I was helping my community. I loved all the friendships." Waymer grew up on a dairy farm and spent 30 years as an operating engineer. Within the department, he rose steadily, becoming its first elected captain and later serving as its fourth chief, a 3-year term of leadership that followed 2 years of service in the United States Army. Under his watch as chief, the department grew in both equipment and capability, funded not by tax dollars, but by the volunteers themselves through carnivals, fundraisers, and community donations. His lasting contribution to the department's infrastructure came in the spring of 1976, when a new firehouse on Route 88 was completed and opened to the community. His son, Steve Waymer, a former fire chief for the department, remembers what the early days looked like from the inside. Buying a fire truck is a big expense in today's world. Back then, my dad told me their biggest financial concern was whether they had enough gas money to run the truck. Members would raise money by passing around a bucket. Lorraine Waymer has been a member of the Fairville Volunteer Fire Department Ladies Auxiliary for more than 60 years. For the Waymers, the department was never an obligation, it was a way of life. She adds, Gene enjoyed the guys and helping his neighbors. The department was part of our family. I was proud to serve and be part of something that meant so much to him and to all of us. Gene remained an active member for decades, continuing to respond to calls well into his later years. He has been a regular volunteer at the department's annual fish fry fundraiser. The Fairville Volunteer Fire Department now has nearly 95 members. Gene Waymer is still one of them. Senator Helming said, "There are moments in this job that stay with you. Meeting Gene Waymer is one of them. He was there at the very beginning, one of the men who built this department from nothing, and he never stopped showing up. 70 years. That's not duty, that's devotion." Next on the People page, we have a photo caption. The Gananda Rotary Club recently celebrated and honored Anna Marie Perolsky of Macedon for her leadership and community service commitment by awarding her a $1,000 scholarship. Anna Marie is graduating from Palmyra Christian School. Gananda Rotary awards scholarships to students who earn some of their community service hours by working with Gananda Rotary on their many service projects in the community. Lastly on the People page is the People News column. Recently, 125 members of the Elmira College Ascendant Class of 2026, one associate student and 12 graduate students earned their degrees and set forth to find their place in the world. Emma Guthrie of Walworth earned a Bachelor of Science. The following local students were named to the University at Buffalo's Spring 2026 Dean's List: Nevaeh Crary of Ontario, Morgan Davis of Newark, Eric Earl of Macedon, Lizzie Gorski of Macedon, Greg Hetfalvi of Palmyra, Claire Hetfalvi of Palmyra, Jocelyn Harry of Marion, Chris Heinlein of Ontario, Ira Huber of Macedon, Cooper Jackson of Ontario, Caden Johnston of Walworth, Lillian Jones of Macedon, Ashley Kiovanse of Macedon, Isaac Krajewski of Ontario, Braden Osborne of Walworth, Mady Sanzada of Red Creek, Lily Saulpaul of Macedon, Carly Spall of Sodus, Cole Talbot of Newark, Emery Taylor of Lyons, and Isabella Vargas of Marion. Julia Weinschrader, 28, of Williamson, was recognized as an Andrew B. Saxton Undergraduate Fellow in Criminal Justice during honors convocation on April 29th. Elizabeth Castlemere of Sodus received a Bachelor of Arts degree from Hamilton College on Sunday, May 24th, in a commencement ceremony concluding the college's 25-26 academic year. Castlemere majored in neuroscience at Hamilton. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Next, we have the History page. CSAA visits Butler Cobblestone Schoolhouse. On June 23rd, the Butler Historical Preservation Society had the honor of hosting a tour stop by the Country School Association of America, based in Texas. The group was holding their 25th annual CSAA conference at Hobart and William Smith Colleges in Geneva, and spent the day traveling around the Finger Lakes visiting 7 local schoolhouses. Over 50 enthusiastic members from as far away as Kansas and Texas enjoyed their stop at the Rowe Cobblestone Schoolhouse to hear a brief history by Butler historian Lori Fry Schmidt. It was a fantastic day to hear the comments on what a historic gem we have in the town of Butler. Remember, you can visit this important piece of history as the BHPS hosts open house events, the first Saturday of every month through October, as well as at the Church Museum in Butler Center. On August 22nd, celebrate the Butler's bicentennial for a fun and informative day. For more information, visit their Facebook page at Butler Historical Preservation Society, Wayne County, New York. Also on the history page, Galen Democrats announced trustee nominations. The Galen Democrat Committee held a caucus Thursday night at the Lauraville Landing Park in the village of Clyde. 2 village trustee seats are up for election on November 3rd. John Jackson and Mel Barber were nominated. John is a lifelong resident of Clyde, and Mel has moved here 2 years ago and likes the community very much. Last on the history page, Palmyra Highway Superintendent honored for consistent training and education. Superintendent of Highways Michael Bozel of Palmyra was recognized for his outstanding commitment to training and education following 20 years of dedicated attendance at the annual School for Highway Superintendents, Highway School, held at Ithaca College. The Highway School is a training conference hosted jointly by the New York State LTAP Center, Cornell Local Roads Program, and the Association of Towns of the State of New York. Over 700 highway and public works officials from across the state attend each year for training, education, and to share ideas. The New York State LTAP Center, Cornell Local Roads Program, provides training, technical assistance, and information to municipal officials and employees responsible for the maintenance, construction, and management of local highways and bridges in New York State. A photo caption with this: David Orr, Director, New York State LTAP Center, Cornell Local Roads Program; Michael Bozel, Superintendent of Highways, Town and Village of Palmyra Highway Department; and Lori Mithen DeMasi, Chief Counsel, New York Association of Towns. And now there are the obituaries. From Savannah, Dennis A. Brown, Sr., 72 years old, died June 22, 1926. From Palmyra, Lyndall Lynn Ann Green, 82 years old, May 28, 26. From Newark, Robert Eugene Howard, 68 years old, June 18th. From Palmyra, Rose Marie Johnson, 92 years old, June 8th. From Sodus, Eleanor Redder, 91 years old, June 23rd. From Sodus, Melvin B. Rogers, 70 years old, June 11th. From Marion, Palmyra, Gail E. Schutt, 89 years old, June 17th. From Newark, Jean T. Rice Van Cowenberg, 94 years old, November 26, 2025. From Marion, Richard A. Wilson, who died June 18, 26. Listeners can call Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 716-821-5555 for obituary details. Next, we have the Senior Moments page, The Healthy Geezer by Fred Cicchetti. Fighting off those SAD feelings. Question: I get the winter blues every year. I was wondering how many people suffer the way I do. You must be relieved that we are into summer. The medical term for winter depression is seasonal affective disorder, SAD. Symptoms usually begin in late fall or early winter and go away by summer. A less common type of depression occurs in the summer. SAD has been linked to a biochemical imbalance in the brain prompted by shorter daylight hours and a lack of sunlight in winter. About 500,000 people in the USA get depressed in winter. Depressions are usually mild to moderate, but they can be severe. Most people with SAD don't feel fully back to normal until early May. People who work inside buildings with few windows can suffer SAD symptoms all year. Some feel mood changes during any long stretch of cloudy weather. Some evidence suggests that the farther someone lives from the equator, the more likely they are to develop SAD. The disorder usually starts in people older than 20. The risk of SAD decreases as adults age. SAD is more common in women than in men. Winter onset SAD is more common in northern regions that have severe winters. Common symptoms of winter onset SAD include loss of interest in pleasurable activities, withdrawal from social situations, a craving for sweet or starchy foods, oversleeping, fatigue, weight gain, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and anxiety. Common symptoms of summer onset SAD include loss of appetite and weight, insomnia, irritability, increased sex drive, and anxiety. Both forms of the seasonal disorder may also include some of the symptoms that are present in other forms of depression, such as guilt, hopelessness, and physical pains. SAD is treated with light therapy, medicines, diet changes, and stress management techniques. Probably the best way to beat the summer blues is to leave the north if you can and head to a sunnier region during the dark, cold days. When you use light for SAD therapy, you either sit in front of a special fluorescent light box or wear a lighted visor for about a half hour every day throughout the fall and winter. Light therapy can produce relief within days. Antidepressants with light may also help. So can psychotherapy. SAD can be battled with self-help techniques too. Make your environment sunnier by opening blinds, adding skylights, and trimming tree branches that block sunlight. Sit closer to bright windows while at home or in the office. Spend more time outdoors. Even on cold or cloudy days, outdoor light helps. Exercise. Physical exercise relieves stress and anxiety. Both can increase SAD symptoms. Exercise makes you feel happier too because you develop a better self-image. There are some alternative remedies that are used for SAD. Don't use any of them without consulting a doctor. These substances may interfere with prescription medications that you take. Here are some of the remedies. St. John's wort. This herb has traditionally been used to treat a variety of problems, including depression. SAMe. This is a synthetic form of a chemical that occurs naturally in the body. SAMe has been used in Europe, where it has been available by prescription since 1975 to treat arthritis and depression. It has been available in the United States as a supplement under the Dietary Supplement and Health Education Act since 1999. Melatonin. This natural hormone helps regulate mood. A change in the season may change the level of melatonin in your body. Omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acid supplements have been shown to relieve depression symptoms in some studies. Mind-body therapies that may help relieve depression symptoms include acupuncture, yoga, meditation, guided imagery, and massage. And as always, this week's lunch at Club 60 Senior Centers. Lunch Club 60 Senior Centers are located in Sodus, Ontario, Clyde, Palmyra, and Newark. The Lunch Club locations are strictly eat-in. Please contact a center manager between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. to reserve your meal. Please call the day prior for the meal you want. Our agency is available to answer any questions at 315-946-5624. Lunch Club 60 Senior Centers will be closed July 3rd in observance of the July 4th holiday. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Our next article, Ontario Chamber of Commerce and Ontario Walworth Rotary announce Business of the Year at Awards Dinner. At a joint dinner meeting of the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and the Ontario Walworth Rotary Club last week, the organizations announced their annual Business of the Year award. The family DJ business, Those Guys Entertainment, were honored with the Business of the Year award. Brothers Dan and Tom Lodestro are known not only for their fun and well-received DJ services, they are also known for their community involvement and giving. Their DJ and Master of Ceremonies service are often given without fee to nonprofit groups for their special project fundraisers. Those guys, brothers Dan and Tom, are also supported by their mom and dad, Christine and Steve Lodestro, who provide help and support services with event decorating, booking, and even ministerial services for weddings. Christine is an ordained minister. Also at the dinner that evening, the Ontario Walworth Rotary Club honored 5 Rotary members with their highest honor, the Paul Harris Award. Honored were Christine, Steve, Tom and Dan Lodestro, and Michael Havens. The Rotary Club also honored member and former Williamson teacher Chuck Monsees with Rotarian of the Year Award. On hand to congratulate all the honorees were Rotary District Governor Jim Crane, incoming District Governor Lisa Norwood, and New York State Senator Pam Helming. In a photo caption, the Ontario Walworth Rotary Club also honored member Chuck Monsees with Rotarian of the Year. Here, Chuck is congratulated by Senator Helming, with outgoing Ontario Walworth Rotary President Mark Wise looking on. Another photo caption, local business Those Guys Entertainment were honored as Business of the Year, jointly by the Ontario Chamber of Commerce and Ontario Walworth Rotary Club at their annual dinner awards meeting on June 23rd. And our next article, WARE announces 2026 Timothy Barber Memorial Scholarship awardees. Wayne Action for Racial Equality announced the 2026 Timothy Barber Scholarship Awards. The higher education scholarships are given annually to graduating Wayne County High School seniors who identify as Black or African American and who recognize that racism is a detriment to human development and are using their talents to ensure the equal rights of all to achieve their potential. The Scholarship Award winners for 2026 are Aisha St. Fleur, a graduate of Williamson High School, was awarded a $1,500 Timothy Barber Memorial Scholarship for 2026. She will attend SUNY Geneseo Honors College in the fall of 2026. She plans to major in early childhood education. During Aisha's high school years, she was a highly involved student and participated in Model UN, Future Business Leaders of America, and Youth Voice. Additionally, she volunteers in school and community events. She has been honored with a Courageous Advocacy Award. Gavin Drain, Palmyra Macedon High School, was awarded a $1,500 Timothy Barber Memorial Scholarship for 2026. Gavin will attend Rochester Institute of Technology and will major in cybersecurity. Gavin is a varsity tennis and swimming athlete, accomplished coder, and will have an internship this summer in computer networking. Gavin received a St. Bonaventure Award and Level Up Awards in English. Ngalula Malawi, a graduate of Marion Junior-Senior High School, was awarded a $1,000 Timothy Barber Memorial Scholarship for 2026. Ngalula will study occupational therapy and science at the University of Buffalo. Shasha is part of the Marion High School's Knights Roundtable, which is a student leadership committee. She was a 3-sport varsity athlete, volunteer at the Marion Elementary School, and is the recipient of the Susan B. Anthony and Frederick Douglass Award. Our next article, When a Door Closed, Wayne County Opened More. Sometimes the best stories begin with bad news. On March 30th, Glow Up Girl learned that the organization was not awarded the funding needed to support its 2026 You Glow Girl summer program. For a young, still evolving nonprofit, the news was a significant setback. For a few days, leadership worried about what it would mean for the girls who count on the program for connection, confidence, adventure, support, and a safe place to belong through the summer. Then something incredible happened. Wayne County showed up. Glow Up Girl CEO Joanne Salerno tells us, "We began making phone calls, sending emails, and reaching out over social media. Conversations were had and donations began to arrive. Businesses stepped forward. Community members opened their hearts. Organizations found ways to help. Individuals came through with incredible gestures of giving. One single very generous individual donated $3,500. Together, our community turned a setback into a success story. Because of the generosity of so many local entities, Glow Up Girl raised an astounding $32,857 to support our You Glow Girl summer program. That's not just funding, that's horseback riding lessons for girls who have never sat on a horse. That's field trips to places they never thought they'd see. That's friendships, laughter, leadership opportunities, reading groups, volunteer experiences, mindfulness activities, sports, crafts, and memories that will last long after summer ends. It's breakfast, lunch, and snacks for growing bodies. It's mental health support when life feels overwhelming. It's a safe place where girls are encouraged to be exactly who they are. You Glow Girl summer program serves girls in grades 3 through 12 throughout Wayne County, particularly those who are experiencing poverty, trauma, and limited access to enrichment opportunities. Every summer, girls from across the county come through our doors looking for something different. Some are looking for friends, some are looking for confidence, some are simply looking for experiences, opportunities, or perhaps a place where they feel seen. And thanks to this amazing community, they'll find it. To learn more, volunteer, donate, or follow our upcoming events, visit our website or follow us on Facebook. Next, from the Law and Order page, we have Sheriff's Corner. From April highlights, from April 12th to April 18th, we celebrated National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Thank you to our Wayne County dispatchers who are the unseen heroes of public safety. On April 17th, we held our 2026 Corrections Academy graduation. Family, friends, and coworkers came to support 6 of our new fully trained corrections officers: Bryce Primo, Skylar Primo, Tanya Harrison, Jacob Van Camp, Eric Van Hanahan, and Sarah Stanley. They are now certified peace officers. Congratulations to all. April 18th, Deputy Kendall Mitchell had the honor of escorting Marion veteran Dean Fisher to the airport for Honor Flight Rochester Mission 94. It was a privilege to be such a small part of such a meaningful experience. In April, we celebrated one big anniversary at the Sheriff's Office. Part-time Deputy Sheriff Alan Graham celebrated his 35th year with the office. Thank you for your years of dedication and commitment, Deputy Graham. If you would like to speak with someone at the Sheriff's Office, you can contact us at 315-946-9711. Be well, Rob Milby, Sheriff. Next in sports, several local teams, athletes recognized for academic success. Each season, the New York State Public High School Athletic Association recognizes both teams and individual athletes for their academic achievements throughout the year. To be eligible for recognition, individual student athletes need to earn at least a 90 grade point average to be recognized. For a team to be awarded, they need at least 75% of their roster to earn an overall GPA of at least 90%. The list includes Palmac, Clyde Savannah, Gananda, Newark, Wayne Central, Lyons, and Marion. And now for the Humane Society of Wayne County Pets of the Week. Panther is a 2.5-year-old neutered male black and white short-haired kitty. He likes to follow you around and have conversations. He will follow you everywhere and be your shadow. He is very affectionate, playful, and curious. His favorite thing to do is looking out the window, and he loves to be held like a baby. He would do best being the only animal in the home and to be spoiled. If you are interested in meeting him, please contact the shelter to make sure he is not at one of our off-site adoption centers. Petey is a 1-year-old neutered male brown and white pit mix. He is energetic and loves going for walks. He needs to be the king of his castle and no other animals. He is playful and likes to snuggle. We are learning more about him every day. Please contact the shelter and come spend some time with him. Call the Humane Society of Wayne County at 315-946-3389. Also on the Pets and Critters page, Palmac's longtime therapy dog retires after 9 years. After 9 years of tail wags, hundreds of treats, and bringing smiles to countless students and staff, it's time for Palmac's beloved therapy dog, Lucy, to begin her well-earned retirement. Lucy joined Palmac in the spring of 2017 and has been a source of comfort, friendship, and joy throughout her time at the school, making a lasting impact on our Red Raider family. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the June 28th issue of the Times of Wayne County. Your reader has been Karen. Thank you for listening.